Okay, so today's talk, I'll be talking about agile practices with Scrum. So it's actually a workshop, so we'll try to make this more hands-on as possible that I can within half an hour. But I'll try to deliver most of the information still within half an hour. Well, the important information. So today's agenda, first we were talking about theory and first principles about Agile, what Agile is actually about and why we want to practice Agile. Okay, and of course the Scrum framework itself, which most of us actually associate, firstly when we talk about Agile, is Scrum, right? And the peoples and the teams that makes up Agile practices itself. And then, of course, knowledge creation, because we are here right now in the knowledge economy. So we want to know how Agile works in terms of knowledge creation. Okay, so first, let's look at the theories and principle. What is Agile really? Literally, we are talking about fast iterative approach, right? So if you want Agile in a nutshell, just a simple sentence, that's it, fast iterative approach. As long as you have something that needs to be done, any project that needs to be done, you do it in an Agile manner. Basically, you do it in a loop. Do it again and again. You learn from it. You get the feedback. You learn from it and you put it back into motion. Right? So this is what Agile is all about, literally. Next, let's look at the Agile Manifesto. So back in 2001, right? 2001, 17 white guys, they came together in a ski resort in Minnesota, and in Utah, and basically they came together to write this Agile Manifesto. Let's say, okay, this is what Agile Manifesto is. So these 17 white guys, most of them are leaders in the software field, right? Some are from various mathematical field as well. So mathematical professors, writers of books, conference speakers, software managers, all these people, they came together and decide what is Agile, right? So they got these 4 values of Agile in their Agile Manifesto. Individuals and interactions over processes and tools. Not that processes and tools are not important. Processes and tools are very important. We need them, right? In this technology world, we want to have processes and tools, but we need to first and foremost think about the individuals and the interactions between you and I, right? Individuals' interactions first before we look at the processes and tools. If we can't get individuals' interactions right, processes and tools, they don't stand much. So first the individuals' interactions, then only you look at processes and tools. Look at the working software over documentation. Documentation is important. We are not disagreeing with that, but your documentation means nothing if your software is not working, right? So working software first, then documentation. Customer collaboration over contract negotiation. Back in the days when we have waterfall methodology, right? You deal with waterfall methodology, we talk about contract negotiation, we talk maybe 1 month, come out with contract, write out all the details, and then, okay, you pay this much, I deliver in 9 months. No, we want customer collaboration over that 9 months period, right? We want the customer's input throughout the whole project. So we want customer collaboration first before contract negotiation. We also want to have some sort of agreement, but we also want to have customer collaboration, right? Responding to change over following a plan. The whole key here is responding to change. Agile methodology is about responding, adaptation, right? So responding to change is more important than following a plan. You have a plan, yes, but that plan, if it needs to be changed, change the plan. Okay? We want to change. A plan is good, but allow for change in your plans. Okay, next, let's look at the complexity of product development. So usually that's how it looks like, right? If you have close to certainty and close to agreement, it's a very simple project. Then a waterfall methodology is more than enough, right? Then if you have far from agreement and far from certainty, nothing is sure, then you have anarchy. Basically, everything is just messy. That's just one word, mess. There's nothing else. But in between, right? This is where most of our projects lie, right? You have some sort of agreement, you have some sort of certainty, and whether it's complicated or complex, this is where Agile comes into play. Agile is best to deal with this sort of projects. Okay? So what is Scrum? What is Scrum? The name Scrum, where does it come from? Right? Who plays rugby here? Anybody? Oh, you have a rugby player. So you do Scrum in your rugby teams? You do Scrum in your rugby teams, right? Yeah, so Scrum in rugby, basically, they try to get the ball. This is a Scrum group, right? They come together with your team, the whole mass of people. They come together, and what their goal is. Their goal is to get the ball slowly, by trying to get the ball slowly closer to the goal. Literally, that's what Scrum methodology is about. Everybody have the same goal. We have the same software, right? Bring that ball closer to the goal, right? That's what Scrum is. Okay, so this is Scrum. And what's within each sprint, right? These circular iterations, what we call each iteration is a sprint, let's say, right? For software development, that's what it is. For the software development life cycle, right? We have plan, then after planning is what? Define, then execute, then test, right? Once you implement, you always have to test it, right? And then review. Very important in Agile technology is that you have to review everything that you do. Have that review inputted. So basically what we are talking about is each iteration. We are doing in each iteration exactly the whole entire software development life cycle in each iteration. You repeat the whole software development life cycle again and again and again. You plan, execute, test, review. Plan, execute, test, review. So on and so forth. Okay? All right. So Scrum is actually an empirical approach. What is empirical? Right? When we talk about empirical, we're talking about historical data. So when you collect a couple of data together, then it becomes data to be able to work on, to be able to act on, right? So that's what empirical means. You actually base your actions based on data, based on actual observation and experience rather than anything else. Don't do it because other people say so. Do it because there's actually data to prove. Okay, so that's what empirical means. So empirical process itself, it actually requires courage. Why? You must have trust and courage before you can have transparency. Transparency is because you have that transparency, then only you have that information for everybody to share, right? Be transparent about your own failures, be transparent about your work, be transparent about the outcome, transparent about your values, all this. You must have trust and courage between your team members, between the organization, before you can have transparency involved, right? Once you have transparency, then only you can have inspection. Then only you can look at it. You have inspection, you have the data, you inspect it, and then you adapt to the situation, adapt to the data that you have, right? So that's why you see this progression. You have trust and courage comes first, then only you have transparency in your organization, then only you can work on that data to have inspection and adaptation, then only, right, thank you. Then only you reach the goal. Okay. So Scrum values is very important. Why is values important? Values is important to the individual. Each of us, our values are important to us. As a whole, values is important to the organization because once you have the values clear cut, then only everybody in your organization knows that, okay, this is what we are working towards. So everybody has the same goal. Everybody has the same direction. That's why values are important. That's why Scrum also, these values are important to get to the goal, to be able to achieve what you're trying to do. Okay, so let's have a look at the Scrum framework now. So this is an important aspect of Scrum framework is the time boxing. Time boxing is important. You want to have a particular time set for every single event in Scrum. So if you say, okay, so this meeting will be for 1 hour, make sure that that's called time boxing. Say you want to time box a meeting to 1 hour, it will never ever reach outside 1 hour. So if it's more than an hour, you say, okay, this is too long, let's cut short. Let's do it in another session, or saying that, okay, this meeting has been dragging too long, it's not achieving anything much anymore, it's digressing. All this is what time boxing is trying to fix, is trying to avoid. So let's say, okay, everybody has heard of stand-ups? Lovely. Okay, so this is why I would like everybody from the back to come all the way to the front. Please join us in the front. There's a lot of empty spaces. Please join us at the front. Let's do this very quick exercise. This is a workshop, so I'll need you guys to do a little bit quick hands-on exercise. So everybody, very quickly give your background, who you are, what you did in the last 24 hours, what you plan to do in the next 24 hours. Okay? So I'll get the timer right here for us. Okay, and we'll start. So I'll start first. My name is Erin Chong. And last 24 hours, I did a city tour of Hanoi. And next 24 hours, I plan to enjoy the rest of FOSSASIA lovely sessions today as well as tomorrow. How about you?
Can you ask again? Sorry. Okay. Hello everyone. My full name is Đỗ Trường Giang. I work as a Scrum Master in a company about transformation of PropTech. It means PropTech of Vietnam. This morning I have some meeting with my client in company, so I really excited about Agile and Scrum that you will present today. So I come there and I really want. I have some problem and some question to ask you about real situation that I face in my company. So I hope that you can help me to resolve them. And after this event, I really want to expand my network to have more community, and especially if you have time in Vietnam, I really want to hang out with you or have some cafe to discuss about Agile. Thank you so much.
Okay, just about yourself.
Hi, my name is Sung. I'm a computer science at PTIT. Last 24 hours, I spend a weekend at home, and next 24 hours, I'm going to attend FOSSASIA Summit.
Hello everyone, I'm a final year student of Fenica University, and I'm working on an NLP engineer, and also attending seats to gain knowledge about this field, and I want to participate in a workshop to apply its Scrum and Agile in personal project, not enterprise project. Yes. That's all. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Quân. I'm currently a senior student in the IT field. So in the last 24 hours, I study at home, and the next 24 hours I will spend my time in FOSSASIA Summit 2024 and attend every workshop that I can. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Hiếu, and I'm a developer at the website field. So last 24 hours I hang out with my friend and play badminton. So the next 24 hours I will maybe I need to review some tasks from my members. So yeah.
Hi, Wei Shen here. I'm currently a full stack software engineer with Outsource Digital, based in Singapore. In the past 24 hours, I flew in on a Vietjet flight to Hanoi from Singapore. Next 24 hours, I will continue to attend the rest of FOSSASIA Summit. Yeah, thank you.
Hi, my name is Nikhil Kathode. I'm from India. Yesterday, I explored Da Nang. From there, I took a flight to Hanoi last night, and Today I'm attending FOSSASIA and preparing for my talk. And in the evening I'm planning to explore the Hanoi.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Winnie Nguyen. I'm Vietnamese, but just come back from Singapore. Last 24 hours, I was enjoying my time with my family, and now I'm here to learn more about the Agile Scrum. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Wei Dong. I'm a software engineer from Viettel Group. And the last 24 hours, I had a trip to my hometown with my family. And the next 24 hours, I will attend the second day of this conference.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hello everyone, I'm Thao. I'm from Vietnam. Last 24 hours, I spent time at home. And the next 24 hours, I come to FOSSASIA Summit. And I will have a talk session after your session, and in Vietnamese also.
Hi everyone, I'm Huy. I'm work together with Chao. Last 24 hours, I spent a lot of time for my talks. We will have a session after you, and the next 24 hours, I think I will spend more for me, for myself.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay. And basically, look at that. What we did was just in 6 minutes, right? It does not take a lot of time to do a stand-up. Okay. So next, let's me introduce what is a Scrum team, right? A Scrum team literally mixed up of a development team of less than 10 people. So no more than 10 people. Like just now, we talked about who we are. Last 24 hours and next 24 hours within a Scrum team of 10 people. That's how long it takes, 6 minutes, that's all. Okay, so why a development team? So in Scrum, a development team is basically a team that manages itself. The manager does not give you any work. It does not assign you jobs. The team itself will assign themselves their work and their job. That's what we mean by manages itself. And the team itself creates the done increment. We'll talk a little bit more about the done increment later. Okay, each Scrum team has a product owner and one product owner only. What does the product owner do? The product owner owns the product backlog. It basically takes care of what goes into the product backlog, and his job is to optimize the value of the product, to be able to tell, okay, from the product backlog, what is the priority? What should be done first, right? And each Scrum team can only have one Scrum Master, no more than one Scrum Master. So that Scrum Master basically only manages the Scrum process itself, right? He also removes impediments. So traditionally, in a traditional mindset of software development, the software manager is the optimum person to be the Scrum Master. So in this case, if you are a software manager of a team, you would say, okay, let me take on the Scrum Master role. You manage yourself. I take care of any impediments. Basically, if you have any issues, I take care of it for you. You do the work, you manage yourself. I take care of any issues from the outside. Okay. So let's look at Scrum itself, okay? We have the Scrum events and the Scrum artifacts. So what's a Scrum? It takes, so it takes up the sprint. The sprint is the key of the Scrum itself. So one sprint is from 1 week, no less than 1 week sprint, no more than 4 week sprint we are talking about, right? So no more than 1 month. Every time you have a sprint, if it's more than 1 month, it's no longer Scrum already, right? So each sprint is no less than a week, no more than 4 weeks. And before you start your sprints, you have your product backlog. Remember, the product owner is the one that comes up with the product backlog. And the product backlog is basically organized in terms of priority. So the top stories at the top are the highest priority stories. And then you have less and less priority. So the product owner will come in and say, okay, this is the highest priority. I will move it up to the top of the product backlog. And of course, there is a product goal. Every time there is a product backlog, there is a product goal. And then we will take the top stories from the product backlog, we will put it into the sprint backlog. So the sprint backlog is basically all the tasks required to complete the sprint, whether it's 1 week or 4 weeks. Of course, once you have the sprint backlog, you can very easily determine what is the sprint goal from the sprint backlog. Then at the start of the sprint, what we do is that we have a sprint planning, no less than actually, I wouldn't say no less than an hour, but the time box for the sprint planning is no more than 1 hour for a 1 week sprint, no more than 8 hours for a 4 week sprint. Daily Scrum, what we did just now, our stand up, right? We stand up and we talked about what we did in the last 24 hours, what we plan to do in the next 24 hours, any impediments, basically any blockers that is you are facing for you to complete your work. So these are the 3 things that each team member will stand up and talk about. It's literally a space where we update each other on our progress. What are we doing? Right? We ask each other every single day for no more than 15 minutes. Just now we went a round of 10 people and it only took us 6 minutes. Right? So it should not take more than 15 minutes for the daily scrum. Okay? So for a team, you can decide when you want to do the daily scrum. Whether you want to do it in the morning, when you everybody see, okay, everybody is in already, let's just do our scrum, our daily scrum. Stand up and then just tell each other what you did in the last 24 hours, next 24 hours, any blockers. That's it. If you want to do it in the end of the day, 5 o'clock, everybody, okay, let's just stand up, do our daily scrum, also can. It depends on the team itself. Okay, so the increment is basically any phase of the working software. Every single iteration of the working software will be called an increment. It does not have to be at the end of the sprint. It could be in the middle of the sprint or anything, right? Basically the complete working software, that's what we call an increment. So the last increment that you have in the sprint, we will bring it into our sprint review. So the sprint review is done at the end of the sprint, of course, and it takes no more than 1 hour for a 1 week sprint, no more than 4 hours for a 4 week sprint. Okay? And after the sprint review, okay, the sprint review is usually where sometimes you want to bring in the customers. So the customers come in and then, okay, let's look at this sprint. Let's review, what is correct, I think that, needs some tweaks, needs some changing, feedback from the customer. All that is done during the sprint review. After the sprint review, then the development team comes together and we do a sprint retrospective. A sprint retrospective should last no more than 1 hour for a 1 week sprint, no more than 3 hours for a 4 week sprint. Okay, so during the retrospective, what happens? So the team, okay, now we have done the work. We have already demoed to the customer. Okay, now, come down. And then what? Then we have to do a review. What do we do in a review? We talk about, okay, how was this sprint? What was good about this sprint? Right? What was bad about this sprint that we need to change? And what should we try next? What have we learned about from this sprint? All that is done during the sprint review. Okay? And we also have this, what we call this traffic light, basically start, stop, continue. You reverse it, you get what was good you want to continue doing, what was bad you want to stop doing, and what that we learned that we want to try next is start. Okay? Okay, then after the retrospective, we have this definition of done. What is the definition of done? Definition done is basically an agreement between the development team to say that, okay, when we complete a task, it needs to meet this criteria before we can say it's done. That's why we call it a definition of done. We define what we consider done. Let's put it on paper, clear cut. If we tick all these boxes, it's done. So that's the definition done. After the sprint review, sometimes you want to think, we decided, we want to add something to the definition done, or we think that something is not necessary, we want to remove from the definition done. Usually, we do it during the sprint retrospective. Okay, so this is your typical process of a sprint, and this is a typical process of Scrum. Any questions, we will leave it to the last, okay? We will try to continue as much as I can within half an hour. Okay, so a sprint is actually an agreement between who and who? Anybody can say? Anybody? It's actually an agreement between the development team and the clients, the customer in this case. So basically the development team is saying that every sprint, you, the customer, you can have us do everything you want, anything that you want us to do, you can tell us. Every sprint will let you do, say whatever you want, right? Tell us what you want. And basically, this is the promise to the customer. Okay, we allow you the flexibility of your own product. And this is also an agreement from the customer to say to the development team, say, we will leave you alone to do the work. We trust you to be able to complete the work that you said we want. We told you that we want already, okay? So this is the client's promise to the development team of stability. Say that we will let you do whatever it is for that sprint. We won't interfere with you. After the sprint, we can tell you something new that we want, okay? So this is what it means by a sprint is an agreement. Okay, we probably have only enough time to talk a little bit about what people means in a agile methodology. When you talk about people, what motivates people? Anybody? What motivates people? What motivates you? Money. Recognition. That's great. Rewards. Actually, what motivates people, interestingly, is actually autonomy. What's autonomy? Autonomy means the ability to do what I want. That's autonomy, right? That's motivation. If I can do what I want, I want to do it. That's everybody also feel the same, yeah? The ability to organize my own work, right? This is what actually motivates people, right? Mastery of my own work to become better at my work, to do better, to be improving of my work, to have the purpose, to make a contribution to the work itself. These are the three key items of what motivates people. Okay, so to be able to shift from the red zone behavior to the green zone behavior, you want to be listening and responding instead of listening but not receiving. You are talking, you don't receive. You don't want that. Okay, this is bad behavior. You don't want to respond defensively. You want to be calm. You want to be casual speaking. You do not want to feel wrong. Don't feel defensive, right? Don't feel wronged. Have an open behavior. Open about your faults. Open about your mistakes. Open to be changing. Don't get involved in battles and antagonism. You want to welcome feedback, right? Feedback is the only way we can learn. We want that feedback. Don't have an enemy perspective. Mutual success is important, and to have collaborative excellence. We want to work together to get to quality, to get to excellence. Okay, so that's people. And next, let's have a quick look at teams. What does teams mean in Agile? Agile, you hear this very often. It's all about continuous. You want to have sustaining pace, okay? So continuous innovation, continuous integration, continuous development, continuous improvement, continuous pace, sustainable pace. Sustainable pace means that you want to have that continuity. You want to have it at a right pace. You don't want it to be too heavy pace. Okay, then everybody just fall straight away. Okay, too tired already. I cannot continue. No, you want to have it continually. So it has to be a sustainable pace. Okay. Always have cross-functional team. Everybody understand about cross-functional team and T-breath team. Have this in mind when you develop your team. And we don't want a complete harmony. Complete harmony means it's not actually improving. Everybody agree with each other. That's it. We also do not want to have war. We do not want to have contest or fortification in the team. What we do want is actually productive dissent. We want you, okay, yes, if you have anything that is opposite thinking, tell me about it. We want to improve on that. Right? We want to see each other's different diverse opinions, perspective. So this is a conflict response mode. You have accommodating at one end. If you have a lot of avoidance, that's where you are. If you have a lot of assertiveness as well as a lot of cooperation, you will be at the highest green end, which is engaged collaborating. We want to have that. Okay, I don't think we have time for knowledge creation, so I'll skip that. Thank you very much. If there's anything, this is just a quick look at the different slides that we won't have time for, but thank you very much. Please give me your feedback. Thank you.